Director from McKinney, Texas, and I'm so excited to share this training with you guys tonight, and just more so my story. Not don't see it as a training, see it as more of a wow. If she can do it, I can do it. Okay, so this doesn't start all nice and pretty and rosy and you know as amazing and pink and fun as normal Mary Kay things are. Okay, my story starts a few months ago. I had my first son, Graham, back at the end of January, and right 3 days after he was born, I offsprung a director and had to start rebuilding my unit. Okay, so that's on the director side. As a consultant side, if you're a consultant listening to this, forget you heard that, okay? But anyways, moving forward, I took those first couple months that Graham was born to just really soak in with him and be a mommy and easily make that transition from not being a mommy to being a mommy without the stress of, oh my gosh, when does my maternity leave end? Okay, because Mary Kay is my only source of work, and I didn't have to worry about maternity leave necessarily. I had my own goals and when I wanted to jump back into work, but I didn't have a boss or anything like that to kind of push me. So our flexibility sometimes in Mary Kay can be the best thing and the worst thing for us, because flexibility in my business made me easily say, oh, it's okay if I didn't reach this goal, I'll do it next month. It's okay if I didn't reach this goal, I'll do it next month. And what started to happen was I was sinking lower and lower and lower in my confidence in the business, in my growth in the business, in my sales, in my team building, both unit and personal. I was really, really getting into a really tough place. When you're on that mountain peak, everything sounds amazing and you can do anything whenever you want, but slowly but surely when you kind of fall into that valley, and that's what life happens. It's life. Life has its ups and downs, and this last few months for me has been some of my down months. And I just kind of thought like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? How did I get here? And I kept blaming the business, and really the only person to blame was me, because I was not working. I was not working. And how could I possibly imagine sales to fall from the sky and new team members to join my team if I was not working, if I was not seeing the faces? And I kept hearing this silly little thing from my senior director, Callie, saying it's mathical. Not magical, mathical. We all pray for the things to happen that are not rule of thumb. We pray for the exceptions to the rule, like, oh, this one person I facial this month, she's going to start her business and come in with a full store, and bam, my month is made, right? It doesn't happen. I've been waiting for those things to happen the last 10 months. It doesn't happen, I promise you, it doesn't happen. So, you have to work by the rule of thumb. And the rule of thumb in Mary Kay is to see the faces. That's the easiest. How simple is this business? Okay, you just have to see the faces. Now, for me, I was, still new to the area that I was living in, so I really didn't have many leads. And I saw real quick that the reason I wasn't seeing faces was because I didn't have leads. So for a couple of months, I worked really hard to drum up some leads. And I did all kinds of things, and you can look up other trainings for lead generation, but the point was I found lots and lots of leads. I was collecting anywhere between 50 to 100 leads for almost 2 months straight, okay? Now don't let that freak you out. That was just what I wanted to do. And from those first 20 to 50, the first week, I started booking and I started seeing faces. And so it took a little bit of time. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to understand nothing happens overnight, okay? So this was end of September that I was really building up these leads. October came, I was really still building up the leads, but in October, what I had worked for from September in terms of getting leads helped me to see 18 faces. Okay, so in October, I saw 18 faces, which is good. It's good. It's a perfect start. Well, if you did them all in the first 15 days. So the perfect start is your first 15 faces in your first 15 days, right? And then the power start is 30 faces in 30 days. And so when I saw that 18 faces wasn't getting me quite where I needed to be, and my unit and my rest of my business wasn't quite where I wanted it to be, like just business in general, I wasn't getting the sales I wanted. I couldn't remember the last time I recruited someone really fun to work with that got this business, that wanted to move up, and that was simply because I wasn't seeing people. So I made a decision November 1st. I thought, what can I do? What can I do that I can control? Not that anyone else can control. What can I do to control something in my business? Okay, what could I do? And I prayed about it, and it kind of, not that it fell from the sky. It was a normal thing. You hear Mary Kay all the time. Power Star. It was like in the back of my head that was like, Power Star, Power Star. And all I kept thinking was, no, I don't want to do that. That's too many faces. I want quicker results with less faces. And I was kidding myself. So finally, I decided, okay, 30 faces in 30 days. And I had a couple of power buddies who were wanting to do it with me too, and a couple of women who weren't set up to do that but had done it before, so they knew how it worked, so they knew how to, cheer me on and push me forward to it. And I had Callie that I would check in every day with, say, this is how many I booked, this is how many I held today, and really keep that accountability. That was also key, because on the days when I felt low, you better believe it was so easy to think about quitting, but because I knew I had to check in with a couple of people that were keeping me accountable, I figured out a way to make that day great. Okay, so 30 faces in 30 days. I'll tell you a little bit about the first 26 faces, because every single face counts, but the last 4 of the month were the most amazing. Okay, so the first 26 were between November 1st and November 27th, between November 1st and November 27th. Okay, now there's Thanksgiving in there. It was a holiday month, and I know a lot of us have the excuse of, well, if it didn't get done by the 15th or the 16th, everyone is already in holiday mode and Thanksgiving mode, and I just have to give up because no one's going to book. That's a lie. Don't tell yourself that. People will book. I was seeing faces the day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. Okay, so I saw faces almost every day this month. And some days I didn't see them for a little bit, and then the next weekend I made up for it by having 3 or 4 parties. So just to also give you the background of, it's not going to be as rosy as you think it is, and don't overthink it. I knew from months before that my husband was going to be out of town for almost 2 weeks of November. Okay, the middle 2 weeks of November. I knew he was going to be gone. But I didn't let that stop me. I booked, and I had about 15 appointments on my books November 1st, and a lot of those were during the times that he was gone, and I totally forgot that, he's not going to be home all day Saturday and all afternoon Sunday for me to, have him as a free babysitter and just be a real daddy. What am I going to do? I didn't freak out. I didn't cancel parties or appointments. I just got on the phone, found some babysitters, found my mother-in-law, found a cousin, found my sister, found somebody who was able to fill in and watch Graham for me, and even come to my house, because sometimes an appointment was at 7:30 and bedtime is 8, so my mom came over a couple of times and did the bedtime routine with him, and he had grandma time, and I had my Mary Kay facial time. So don't overthink it. You have to not overthink it. You just have to do it, and everything else will fall into place, because there was not one appointment that I did not have the proper care for Graham, or that he didn't magically take a nap right when I needed a facial someone at my kitchen table. So it was awesome. So those first 26 faces, I made a lot of sales. They were all brand new faces that were from leads, from referrals, from a lead box, from wherever they came from. They were brand new faces, and they were great. And I didn't even tell them that, my goal is to see 30 faces that month and pamper 30 women. I just said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Would you love to be a facial? And, there were more scripts to that, but that was the gist of it. And so I booked these 26 faces. Now, I was supposed to have 2 double facials on Thursday and on Wednesday. So, on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So Tuesday, November 29th, and Wednesday, November 30th. So those were supposed to be my last 4 faces. You're probably thinking, whoa, red flag. How would you know those were going to stay and stick? Because, half of what we book actually holds, and the other half either falls into the abyss or gets postponed to a later time. So how was I going to, what was I thinking? Not booking these more facials in the last 3 days of the month. So Sunday afternoon came, the 26th, the 26th. No, that's Sunday, okay? The last Sunday of the month. I don't have a calendar in front of me, and that doesn't matter right now. Sunday came, and both appointments postponed on me. They didn't cancel, so that was neat, but they both postponed on me to December. And they just didn't know. They didn't know that they were my last 4 faces. Otherwise, they might have stuck, but they didn't. Okay, they didn't stick to November. And it's not 26 faces plus 4 on December 1st to count. It's not that. It's 30 faces in 30 days. November 1st to the 30th, okay? And so I had a little moment where, I boxed Callie and I said, hey, I saw 26 faces. My last 2 appointments canceled. It's the end of the month. I'm tired. I think that's okay. I think it's good. It's good enough. And mind you, I saw 18 faces in October, and before that I was seeing maybe 5 to 10 faces a month ever since Graham's been born. So I really wasn't lying when I said that was hard. I did a lot of work this month. I'm proud of that. But, that wasn't finishing my goal. There was no story behind it. The last end of that story would have been wah, wah, wah. I did 26 faces, and I skimped out on the last 4, and I still had 3 days of the month. Okay, so I had 10 minutes to have a little pity party, and then Callie boxed me back, and she's like, no, you have 3 whole days. You need to make this happen. And at first, I kind of was like, oh, come on, leave me alone. But then something clicked inside me, and I know it's kind of weird to think about, but that's why we have Mary Kay girlfriends and people that are higher than us, that push us, that have been where we are. And I so love that our company has that, and that we are mentored by people who do these things, not just teach them from theory. Okay? And I kept hearing about a couple of other directors in our national area and other areas that had done it, and what momentum it built for them. And I thought, okay, fine, I'm just going to trust in the numbers. I'm just going to do these 30. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to get 4 more faces. I don't know where the heck they're going to come from, but I'm going to get 4 more faces. So I didn't just text my best friend because she's been facial. I had my sister over that night, and she kind of hinted to saying, we can have all my girlfriends come over. And I thought, no, none of y'all are recruitable. None of y'all are really going to buy. You're not really going to be the best faces that I can see, okay? Because I didn't want to just finish. I wanted to finish well and strong and know that I did well, okay? I even had a girlfriend who was coming to town that I hadn't facial ever, who was coming to town from another state, and she said, well, I'm going to see you on December 1st, so you can facial me on December 1st and pretend it was on the 30th. We'll post-date it. Or backdate it. And I said, no, I can't do that. I want to do this the right way. So I started Facebook messaging people. I must have messaged 20 people that night, okay? Whether it was Facebook, text message, email, somehow I messaged over 20 people Sunday night. And I had one girl who had been stringing me along for a long time saying, yeah, I'll get a facial. I finally just messaged her and I said, hey, here's the deal. You have to come within the next 3 days because I need 4 more faces, and I am not going to miss out on this goal. And she said, okay, great, I'll be there on Tuesday. And I thought, oh, yes, 1 face, 3 more to go. I got 1 face, I have 3 more to go. We can do this. It was like slowly building itself. Well, between Sunday night and Monday, I didn't see anyone else. Nobody could book on Monday. It wasn't happening. To me, it wasn't happening. But I knew I had my face on Tuesday morning, so at least we'll get to 27 faces. So that girl came. Her name was Ruby. She came over at 10:30 in the morning. I facialed her. I told her how excited I was that she could come on short notice. And I said, look, I know this is going to sound crazy. And it's not, like I'm not getting fired or getting kicked out of Mary Kay if I don't get these 30 faces, but I need these 30 faces. Can you please help me? Okay. And she said, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All I had to do was ask her and tell her. I didn't cry. I didn't beg and plead. I just said, this is the situation. Is there any way you can help me? And she got on the phone and started texting people, her friends, her roommates, her cousins. She was texting everybody right there, sitting right there in front of me. She was texting them. And I gave her a sample script saying, hey, this is what my beauty consultant's trying to do. I'm trying to help her out. Any chance you can get facial tonight or tomorrow? And right there on the spot, she had two of her girlfriends, or two of her cousins text her saying, yes, we'd love to do it. And in the meantime, I was texting a few of her other friends. And so this was, now it was about 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Had booked one of Ruby's friends for 5 o'clock that day. So it's 5 in the evening, okay? I was sitting, my table was set, she was going to come to my kitchen table to get facialed, everything was set up. About 4:30, 4:45, she texts me saying, I'm so sorry, I got caught up with something, I can't make it. So I'm thinking, no. I have 2 faces booked for Wednesday, because her 2 cousins booked for Wednesday afternoon, but where am I going to get this last face, the 3rd face I need, okay? And I was already brainstorming with Callie, like, I'm going to walk across the street and talk to my neighbor and just say, hey, here's my kit, can I facial you in your bathroom in 10 minutes? So I was coming up with plans, and you get scrappy. You don't give up. You don't give up. That it's the easiest thing to give up. And I could have given up so many times, but y'all, I needed a win. I needed a win, not for the business, not for, what it could do for me in December. I needed a win to know that I was still in the game with Mary Kay, to know that my confidence was being built, to know that other people still believe in this process, still believe in the product, in the opportunity. I needed a win on so many different levels. You have no idea. You have no idea how important. Oh, I did not want to get emotional about this. You have no idea how much I needed this win. And every time I booked somebody in that next 24 hours on Tuesday, they would fall apart. And so Wednesday morning came. And I even had another facial fall apart on that Tuesday night that I booked super last minute. She was supposed to come over at 7:30. It didn't happen. So Wednesday morning comes. I knew I had the 2 faces to facial at 3 o'clock that day, Libby's cousins. And again, babysitter fell through. Okay, like the last day of the month, babysitters were falling through because at this point I, told them I would drive to them because they lived a little bit further from me. So you do what you gotta do to make it happen, right? So last minute, I have to find a babysitter. Oh my gosh, how's this gonna work? Luckily, I have another cousin who was off that day. And I said, I'll pay you, just come over. I'll feed you lunch and dinner, just come over. And so she came over real quick, and in the time that I had texted her to come over, my facial that canceled from Tuesday night called me and said, hey, I can come over right now. Can you facial me right now? And I said, yes, I can facial you right now. And what's really neat is that she's been a customer for over 4 years, but has never been refacialed or ever seen again from the first time she was facialed. 4 years ago. Okay, so another lesson, and you gotta be refacialing your people every few months to show them new product, update their skincare. She's 25 and was still on Clear Proof, and she has no more acne, so she doesn't need Clear Proof. So I had booked her knowing that, you're going to be a refacial, but there's potential for more, business there. And so she came over at about 2 o'clock, and I facialed her real quick, and, earlier than 2. I forget. The day went so crazy. So she came over, I facialed her real quick, and in the process, y'all, it was totally a God thing. Totally a God thing. Because remember how I said the first 26 faces were amazing, but it was the last 4 that made the magic happen. The MATHICAL magic happen. Face number 27, Ruby. She's a nurse. Would have never thought she would be interested in the opportunity. I have coffee with her this week because she is so excited about starting her business, okay? The next person who came, Ashley, who came on Wednesday morning, she had the reason she could come in the middle of the day was because that morning she had quit her dream job. Y'all, she got 2 degrees to get this dream job, and she didn't love it. It was not her dream job. And she came in, you could clearly see she was sad and had been sad all morning. And I said, well, if anything, I would love to at least pamper you and make you feel like $1 million today. And she said, you know what, Sarah, I need a plan B. I need another job. What am I going to do? And I said, girl, watch what I do. And she, too, is very interested in starting her business. And we're going to talk some details this week, okay? So that was number 28, phase number 28. Then I get to Ruby's 2 cousins' house later that afternoon. And both of them were so excited to see me and meet me. And I had never known these women. I had never texted them or called them, but they were so excited to help me out and say, oh my gosh, girl, this is so amazing what you're doing and you know what this company stands for, because I gave them my story and shared the opportunity. And cousin number 1 was not interested in the opportunity, but bought an entire skincare set, okay, sales, cha-ching, and said that, girl, you need to call my girlfriend because she needs this, she needs you, okay, so more team building. Then the other cousin said, oh my gosh, I don't even want to buy anything right now because I want to do this. Let's meet for coffee. So in the last 4 phases of the month, I have 3 interested, sold product, have another one I need to talk to because she should be interested based on what her friend said. And it was magical. And when I walked out their house, it was just this feeling of, I did it. I saw 30 faces, I pampered 30 faces, they were amazing. And the last 4 were the ones that were the most excited to be helping me out, to want to start their business, to want to know more about Mary Kay, to applaud me for what I'm doing, to cry and laugh with me during the party, just to see that whole thing come together. And so I am pleading with you, if you have felt that your business isn't working, that you're not where you want to be, you've been higher before and you don't know how you got to whatever low spot you are, or haven't been, working up to your next level of wherever you want to be, just do what Mary Kay said. Put product on people's faces. I'm crying here. Put product on people's faces. Okay, you have to put product on people's faces, and you have to set out that goal, and you have to make it a non-negotiable goal, because when you do, magic happens. It really does. It really does. And let me tell you, the rest of my month didn't come together the way I had wanted it to. But when I had facial that last face, Callie laughed at me. She goes, you would have thought you just earned another car. And you didn't. You just facial 30 people. That's how excited I was. And that's what confidence it built in me. And that's the momentum that is taking me into December. Y'all, my books are so booked. My calendar is so booked for December, and I have interview after interview after interview, and I had a person join my team on December 1st, okay, and I would not have been able to share the opportunity with her. I mean, I facialed her on the 1st, and she signed up on the 1st, because she's like, this makes amazing sense, I need to be doing this, and she was one of the leads from way back in October and September, and so, all that to say, when your heart is in the right place, and when you do what you need to do, don't cheat your way around it. There's no get rich quick scheme. This is not what that is. Mary Kay is about making relationships with people, and the skincare and the makeup is the foot in the door. Do what your job description is in this company. Facial for women. Share with every single person you see, because I could have skimmed out and not shared with those last 4, just saying that I wanted 4 more facials. Not 4 more shares or another interview, just 4 more facials. But I didn't. I did exactly what we have to do in this company, what Mary Kay Ash taught us, what my national teaches me, what my senior director teaches me, and what I'm teaching my entire unit and all the girls around me that are working. See the faces. The power start. How important is a power start to your month? Y'all, it has changed my business just in 1 month. I can't imagine what it's going to be doing and what videos I'll be sharing in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of continuously doing power starts. So I hope this blessed you in some way. If you have done a power start before and it didn't, really pan out the way you thought it was, do it again. Do it again. What is the harm in seeing 30 more people and facialing them and selling product to them and recruiting them? Do it again and do it well. And just know that anything you're putting into your business is going to come back to you tenfold. And I can go on for another 3 hours about what the last 5 days have been in December, just as repercussions of what happened in November. That would not have happened if I didn't see and push to those last 4 phases. So that's my story on Power Starts. I hope it blesses you. There's no secret ingredient. I'm no different than you are. I had a script. I booked them. I got referrals from them. I booked them. I shared with them using scripts that I've learned from day one in this business. It's not rocket science, y'all. You just have to do it, and only you can decide to finish it. Because yes, Callie and Catherine and my mom were all behind me in pushing me, but they couldn't do the faces for me. I had to do it, and I had to book them, and I had to share, and I had to do the work, and I did. And I'm so happy I did, because guess what? And this will be the last thing. I got home that night, and as a new mommy, there's, if you're a mommy, you can relate to mommy guilt, and being away from your babies, and when do I work? When do I be away? How do I find this balance? Y'all, Graham is only 10 months and is a perfect walker already. And when he hears the garage door and he knows someone is home. This kid's smart, so let me just brag on my kid real quick. He's a smart kid. He heard the garage door and he met me. He was at the bottom of the stairs, turning the corner to see me from the back door. And I opened the door, and he ran at me with the biggest smile on his face, y'all. And I got to pick him up and hug him and hold him and tell him that Mommy did it. And he's only 10 months. He doesn't know what Mommy did. He has no idea. But had he been 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, any other age besides 10 months, he would have known that Mommy did it. And we would have been tracking through the months saying, look, this is what Mommy's going to do. And it's the confidence you build in your kids and the excitement you train them into knowing that when you set out a goal, you have to finish it. Do everything in your power to finish it. Because for me, that was building up my baby. Again, he's 10 months, he has no idea. I was crying when I picked him up and he was just smiling at me, laughing, and excited to see me. But he was the reason that I did these 30 faces. And I would not be here today, as excited as I am about my business, as rejuvenated in my business, had it not been for these 30 faces and pushing through to all of them. So, that was not the plan. This was not the plan. But again, I pray that this blessed you, because I know I could not have done this without God by my side and just checking in with Him every single day and praying and giving it up all to Him every single day. But this is what I want to do. This is the 30 faces. I know you're going to bring the perfect 30 women to me and introduce them into my lives. How am I going to bless them? So, go do a